Welcome back, guys. We've got Adam from Wine Selectors. He's become a very familiar face around these parts.
Great to see you. Thanks for having me back.
You like Celeriac?
I love aniseed, licorice, ouzo, anything like that. Just even the smell of it, I'm interested to see what you're going to do.
It's one of those things that it probably sits on the market shelf, or you know, people want to pass it at the markets when it's in season. They go, doesn't really take my fancy by the look of it, but the flavour of it has exactly what you were just talking about. So that nice aniseedy flavour to it. We've got an incredibly humble dish here, which is a really nice fit. What we're celebrating and highlighting here is how Wine Selectors get out there and champion the boutique producers that we don't know a lot about, but are doing some phenomenal stuff in the wine industry, especially in this country. So exciting times ahead. You're gonna love it. We're doing a gratin. So we're working with regions. Obviously, you know, the whole concept is what grows together goes together.
Yep.
What region are we? Because I've got potatoes.
So we're in Geographe, which is on the west coast of Australia.
Yep.
It's just north of Margaret River.
Okay, so
WA,
phenomenal wine region.
Exactly right.
Right.
Probably lives in the shadow a little bit of Margaret River.
Yep.
And that's only because Margaret River is so
the headliner,
globally renowned.
Yep.
But Geographe as an area producing premium wine excites us unbelievably.
All right. So gratin's got that very one of its true characteristics is that very cheesy, creamy, salty, roasty, delicious. So I'm throwing in some onions in there as well for just that little layer of sweetness. So there's going to be no colour. They're going to go in the layers.
Okay.
And you know when you steam onions, you just get that beautiful sweetness out of them.
Yeah.
So that's how we're going to compile this one. So there's going to be lots of mandolin work this morning. We're going to make a very basic roux, which is what I'll kick off with. So word on the street is that Wine Selectors, you guys work with over 500 brands, different companies, winemakers, producers.
Yep.
Mind-blowing numbers. How do you find these people? How do you locate them, work with them? Essentially, how do they join the Wine Selectors family and portfolio?
So Australian wine is our passion and focus, first and foremost.
Yep.
But we prefer to deal with the smaller, boutique, family-owned producers. These are the people who grow the grapes, make the wine, they sell the wine. They're the faces and the stories that you hear at cellar doors. And what we prefer to do is focus on those guys and then tell their story. People who grow grapes are farmers, first and foremost.
Yep.
And I think perhaps in the last 12 months with environmental factors, bushfires, etc., it's made us really focus in and go, do you know what? We need to give these people the cred that they deserve. It's tough work.
Well, I think you nailed it by saying that you're becoming a medium.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah, we want to bridge their story with consumers so people at home who, if you can't travel to Geographe next weekend, we can at least bring a box of wine and bring the cellar doors to you.
Never a bad thing.
Never a bad thing.
Never a bad thing.
Never a bad thing.
All right, so I'm brewing over here. Got a little.
You're brewing.
I'm brewing. I've got a little butter and flour concoction. A real classic kickoff. Equal quantities butter and flour.
Okay.
Just going to sort of gently whisk in that milk and get a really nice, rich, thick, creamy sauce happening. Head in with the cheese. So I've just got some tasty cheese there.
Okay.
This is a really simple one, but it's one of those warming dishes, isn't it? It's like you can either you could have a gratin with a nice little garden salad, or you could have it as a part of a side with a barbecue. It's got enough bulk and enough presence to be a dish on its own.
And the little glass I've poured you, that's a Sauvignon Blanc Semillon from Willow. And to me, great wine to be sipping while you're making this, because it's obviously a little physical work going on here. And also, you talked about the richness of this dish. The freshness in this wine is a great contrast to the richness in this dish.
So I'm going to go in with our tasty cheese there. All right, so I'm just going to get a nice layer of extra virgin olive oil on the base, all right? And then we're going to start to lay these up. So potatoes first.
Hero.
And we're pretty much going to go potato, bechamel, celeriac, onion, potato. You know the drill.
Repeat until
full. They're just like exactly like making a lasagna.
Let me pour this Gamay for you while you do that.
Go for it. about 47 layers to this gratin. We're just gonna wrap it up with a really, I love a big, generous crust. Panko crumbs over the top. Little drizzle of extra virgin olive oil over the top. Add a little bit more cracked pepper. All right.
It's just a flavour bomb.
I love it.
It's gonna be amazing.
Love it. You've got that sharp flavoured cheese, heaps of cracked pepper. Obviously that beautiful aniseedy flavour from the celeriac and the sweetness of the onions, the crunch of the potatoes. I go with a waxy potato purely because I just like that texture of it when it sort of steams and bakes at the same time. In the oven at about 200.
Okay.
About half an hour, 35 minutes.
Perfect to enjoy a glass of Gamay while we wait.
Let's do it. Mate, as you can see, that is still absolute lava. How good is it? You can smell the celeriac in there. You get that beautiful waft of the aniseed, the black pepper, the sweetness of the onions. You'd look at that and you go, oh, I'd probably go with the white with that, but the Gamay is really tidy.
And I think it's delicate enough that it's not going to overpower that.
No.
It's just going to just have a great fusion and flow. A spoonful of that, a sip of that. Happy days.
You're in business. We're gonna let that just sort of settle down before you serve that, of course, whether you're gonna put it next to like a roast, or as you said, you could totally just have that with a beautiful little garden salad, just to freshen it up. Let it simmer down. Let the bubbling stop, let it set. You don't want to dig into it while it's too hot. It's just going to fall apart.
Yep.
So you almost need to let the cheese do its thing, start to solidify again, just a touch before you start carving it up and serving it.
Brilliant.
Always a pleasure. Thank you so much. We love what you guys do at Wine Selectors, getting out there and putting the producers and the winemakers of Australia at the forefront.
And Matt, any more information on producers like Aylesbury Estate, small, family owned, that's a snapshot of what we love to do. Unearth these producers and bring them directly to your door. Wineselectors.com.au is your hub to go to learn more about small family-owned producers from across the country and give you the ability to get that wine shipped direct to your door. Mate, thank you so much.
Always a pleasure.
Cheers.
Cheers, brother.